Predator, Killer of Killers is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed The First Prey and the upcoming Predator Badlands. And he also directed a pretty overlooked film, in my opinion, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, that movie is really good. Go check that out if you haven't. And this time around, he tells 3 stories that takes place in 3 different times in Earth's history, and they all converge into this one climactic battle for survival against the Predators. This is basically an anthology series that showcases all these stories and what time was like with these people and how they went up against these Predators that are going after them. And I think this film is really exciting. And to start things off properly, let's start it off with the first story with the Viking era. I think this is a really exciting story. It is bloody, it is brutal, it is visceral, it is dramatic, the tension is high, the characters are so engaging, and I was floored with how well done this entire story was throughout, and it made for a really exciting drama when it comes to the characters going up against the Predator himself. And man, this fight sequence with this Predator is so bloody brutal, and the characters had to use ingenuity to go up against it, using their smarts and trying to figure out how to be able to take him down in that way. And I think it was really well done. The second story with the Samurai brothers and how they had to go up against the Predator is also really fantastic. Apart from an opening and closing line of dialogue, there is no bit of talking throughout this entire story. This is all visual storytelling, and I absolutely loved it. It was almost like a silent film at times as well. It really helped make this entire story be, in my opinion, the best that this anthology had to offer, because we feel the emotions, we feel everything that the character is going through, what both brothers are going through, and the action with the Predator and how these 2 brothers go up against it. It is shit you see out of anime, and I absolutely loved it. And what I love about all the stories here is just how violent and brutal they are not afraid to get. These fights get dirty, and when the characters are at the end of their ropes, they have to improvise and figure out a way to work together and use their mind to the best of their ability. And I think this story does a really good job at showing that, while having us understand what our characters are feeling at the moment. And the Predators themselves feel intimidating, they feel cunning. We see them like explore what the characters are doing, how they fight, how they can probably go up against them, and when they feel ready to fight, they go at them hard with everything they got. They made the Predators feel intense, they feel scary, and they do feel different. Each Predator has a different way of fighting, a different way of trying to go up against their adversaries. With the Viking Predator, it is using brute force and willpower. With the second one, it is a bit of that, but he uses a lot of weapons, a lot of swordplay. He uses a lot of other tactics around his environment to go up against these brothers, because that is how they fight. He's trying to fight at their level as a way of respecting the fight and hunt itself. And I love the way the Predator was portrayed in these stories. The third story, admittedly, is probably the weakest of the 3, and that is the World War II story with this fighter pilot who is trying to go up against the Predator up in the air. And while I do think it is the weakest due to a lot of unrealistic moments here that do feel more at home with animation, but if done in live action it will feel a bit silly, I think the story here is emotionally well done enough for us to get attached to this character, this kid who wants to become a fighter pilot but is rejected. And not that he is not respected, he is respected, but his team just don't think he has what it takes yet to go up in the air. And when it came to the Predator and this new technology that they discovered, he feels the need to try and help his brothers out, and you feel that attachment between him and his team leader, and their banter with one another is great. Not to mention that he's played by Michael Biehn, the team leader. Just all around great casting there, going from Alien to Predator. Like, that is nice. That's really nice. And the final story of Predator Badlands showcases our characters culminating in this one big fight for survival to the death, and whoever wins goes up against the Predator leader. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens in this story, that I think it is very important. But I do love how we are able to explore the aliens' culture here, how the Predators live, how they behave, what their culture is like, and what their animals and how they interact with each other, how they greet each other, just getting a sense of who they are. I think it's all really exciting. And I think this is a different try from what we've seen before here, and I think that is opening up a lot of possibilities that this universe is exploring. Other types of predators throughout history, and all these predators are not just like one clan only. It is a bunch of different clans, and I love that aspect of this anthology story. And I think it just made for a very interesting finale. How these characters lived, how they have to work together is exciting, and the conflict that brews between them, and how they have to learn to get along in order to survive, I think paid off pretty well for the characters and made the overall story have that emotional punch that I think was very much needed. Overall, Predator Killer of Killers is a really exciting anthology story. If you loved shows like Arcane or movies like Spider-Verse or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and you love this kind of animation style, I think you're going to get a real kick out of this. The animation is great. It has a few bits of frames going down here and there, but it was purposely done, and I think it worked very well with the stories that it's presenting. The animation here just beautiful all around. I absolutely love the presentation. The action is brutal and violent and bloody. The characters are engaging and really fun to watch. The stories are emotionally resonant, especially the first two. And all in all, I think Predator Badlands is a not Predator Badlands, I'm not reviewing that yet. Predator Killer of Killers is the best Predator film since the original. I really enjoyed Prey, but I think Dan outdid himself with this one, and it makes me even more excited for what he's going to be able to do with Badlands. I'm going to give Predator Killer of Killers an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.